The secret of creation. He who has ears to hear, let him hear, and who has eyes to see, let him see. I will reveal a great secret to you, that you may see how your most loving and holy Father presents himself in a brotherly manner, enabling you to see and enjoy him face to face. For the children must be introduced to their Father's great household from eternity. The deity was from eternity, the power permeating all endlessness of infinity, and it was and is and will forever be infinity itself. In the center of its depth, I was from eternity, the love, and the very life within it. But behold, I was blind like an embryo in the womb. The deity, however, took pleasure in its love and pressed hard towards it, and the love felt hotter and hotter in its center. Masses upon masses of the deity assailed it, and all powers and forces stormed towards it. Then there arose a great hum, a storming and roaring, and behold, love became fearful, and was pressed hard from all sides, so that it trembled deep within. And love became aware of it, and the hum became a sound, and the sound within love became a word, and the word spoke, "Let there be light." And the flame in the heart of the ignited love began to blaze, and it became light in all the spaces of infinity. And God saw the great glory of his love within him, and love was strengthened with the power of the deity. And thus the deity united with love forever, and the light issued from the warmth. And lo, love saw within the deity all the glories whose number is endless, and the deity saw how all this flowed into it from love, and love saw its thoughts within the deity, and found great pleasure in them. Thereupon love ignited anew, and the powers of the deity moved around it. And behold, the thoughts emanating from love were themselves love, and were countless. The deity saw its glory, and love felt its power. And the love within the deity spoke, "Let us hold fast the thoughts of glory, and cause them to go forth, so that they may become free, and perceive us, and become aware of how we perceive and see them, and how we perceived and saw them before the light illuminated their forms." Then the word passed into the deity, and it became love throughout, and lo, the deity spoke for the first time, "Let there be." And a host of spirits whose number is countless was set free out of the deity. And love saw itself endlessly multiplied, and saw its infinite beauty and perfection. However, all the beings were not yet alive, and did not yet perceive and see, for they were still fixed forms in the deity outside of love. And love felt compassion and began to stir, and the motion rose within the deity, and the deity gave its captives to love, and love permeated all. And lo, the forms became alive, and looked at each other in amazement, and warmed themselves at the flames streaming from divine love, and thereby received independent movement and mobility, but they did not know themselves as yet. Then love spoke again, "Let us make them recognize themselves, so that they may know me, and through me also you." Once again the word arose within the deity, and the word sounded within the deity, and the word became law, and the law was love, and flowed into all. And behold, they were made three, and from them came forth seven, and the three equaled the love, the light, and the deity. And the seven equaled the seven spirits of God. There and shall forever be called, "Love the love, fear the deity that slays, lest you be slain." The love within you is holy, so respect each other as the love within the deity respects you and is pleased with you. Everyone belongs to himself and belongs to the love of God. Therefore let no one be prey to another. Let no one ever hide his face from the other, to prevent the other from knowing what love is like, and that you may be like the love which called you into existence. Let your innermost be like your outermost, so that no wrong emotion may arise within you, and you perish. Your outermost shall be the true reflection of your inner mirror, in which the love of the deity gazes upon itself. Otherwise the inner mirror will break to pieces and your form become hideous. Then the deity thundered in the infinite spaces a dreadful judgment to the transgressors, and they were bidden worship of the deity in the greatest sphere, and love of the love, and they were set out of the deity in the greatest freedom, and could do as they pleased. And nothing shall impede their freedom until such time as they will have recognized themselves in their freedom under humility, so that the law may become their own, and they are then completely free. However, now they became aware of their great might and their all outshining splendor and majesty, and the first of the tree, the light of the deity, inflamed in his desire to fully overpower the deity. Through him were kindled also a great part of the spirits he had created. Thereupon the deity became inflamed with anger, as did also the two lower spirits of the tree, and cast the evil gang into the most profound depth of its wrath. And the two and those who had come forth from them, and the seven, whose number was just, were found faithful in their humility, and were admitted into the spheres of the might of God. And love saw that they had been found pure, and rejoiced in their perfection. And behold, the power of the deity rose within the love, and the deity moved, and the created noticed the movement of the deity. And the deity moved towards its love, and the eyes of the created were opened, and they saw eternal love for the first time. Then the hosts of the countless beings were amazed, and there was jubilation and great joy among them, for they saw the might of God within love, and saw the love within themselves, and also the power which had called them into existence. They recognized themselves and recognized love and God. Now the deity moved, and the created were afraid, and love saw their fear, and that it was just. And their fear became obedience, and obedience was humility, and the humility was their love. And love became their law, and the law their eternal freedom, and the freedom became their life, and the life their eternal bliss. And lo, eternal love spoke to them, and they understood the word. Then their tongues were loosened, and the first word that flowed from their lips was love. And the deity was pleased with the tone of their speech, and was moved by love, and the movement took form within the created, and the form became sound, and the sound was the second word, God. And only now were the created perfected, and love spoke to the created. The first among you was lost. Therefore I am taking this place, and shall be among you forever. Then their tongues were loosened once more, and they bent their knees and worshipped love. Now behold, all that love did, and God within love, and love within God. And love felt compassion for the lost, but the deity quaked in its wrath, and a great thunder was heard in all the spaces of God's infinity. And the thunder penetrated to their innermost of eternal love, and love alone understood the thunder of the deity. And the thunder became a word within it, and spoke, Yours shall be all the might, do whatever pleases you, and speak, Let there be, and it shall be. And lo, love was stirred to its innermost, and the first tear flowed from the eye of the eternal love, and this tear flowed from the heart of the deity, and was, is, and shall forever be called mercy. This tear became a great water, which flowed into all the spaces of infinity, and into the uttermost depths of the wrath of the deity, and appeased the fire of God's anger. And lo, the Spirit of God in its power moved gently over the waters of mercy, and the waters parted, and God spoke out of his love, and his love was the Word. And the Word descended into the uttermost depths, and hovered over the waters, and the waters became separated like dewdrops, and were spread out into all the spaces of infinity in large and small drops, according to the number of the lost, which is endless. And lo, the last drop which remained was the innermost of the waters, and the innermost of mercy, and was not spread out, but remained where it had been left, and was destined to be the center point and the stage for the greatest deed of eternal love. And now behold, this last drop became the planet Earth, which you and your brothers inhabit, and the other drops were formed into countless suns, planets, and moons of all kinds. And lo, thus came into existence the visible firmament with its stars, the sun and the moon, and the visible earth with its oceans and firm land. Now lift up your eyes and see, and you shall comprehend the wonders of eternal love. You always see the radiance of the sun, the light of the moon, and the shimmer and glitter of the stars and their varied constellations, which you call the signs of the zodiac. You see all the great variety of formations in all the three kingdoms of nature of the natural earth. However, to this day no one has fathomed and properly comprehended the nature and source of the sun's radiance, and how it has come about, the shine of the moon, the shimmer and glitter of the stars, and their most varied constellations, and the structure of the earth. For behold, my children must be introduced to all the beautiful things their holy, most loving Father has available as gifts to his children who recognize him, love him alone above all, and love each other for love of their Father. And behold, when all the suns with their planets came into existence through the might of the eternal, infinite God's merciful love, they had as yet no radiance, shine, shimmer, or glimmer, for there was still dark night on the created suns, earths, and moons. But into the center of the a small spark of its grace, and this spark, taster than lightning, illuminated the dark masses, and lo, they shone upon the earth with a great radiance, and are still shining, and will do so as long as the spark of grace is not taken from them. And behold, the earths and moons also began to shine, and they were allocated to the suns in just numbers, and love breathed upon them through the power and might of the deity. And lo, the light vibrated on the suns, the seas, on the planets seethed, and whirled the floods, and their air, currents, and winds floated, and blew over the earth like the Spirit of God over the waters of mercy. And the moons rose mightily above the earth to which they had been given like fruit on a tree, and began to revolve around them in wide circles as constant companions. And where there were many of them, they were united in fixed orbits, as a sign of the love of the children who are to constantly behold the face of their Father, as do the moons their earths, to prevent them from being torn from their orbits and destroyed on account of their light structure. For behold, the moons are not solid, but porous, similar to the foam of the sea, when it becomes firmer and more solid, and they are barren and without water. The air of the earth is there as the water of the moons, and their air is like the ether between the suns and earths. And they, the moons, are destined to receive the worldlings, to hold the spirits of matter, to probe their constancy, and mature them for the reception of grace. The solid part of the earth is that part of the wrath of the deity, which was appeased through mercy, and holds with strong fetters the spirits of those who had strayed. They will be held until the appointed time of their unaware release, when they, individually bound, are put into matter which is softer yet strong enough to hold them, and from which they will only be able to emerge from when eternal love has once more wakened them. The seas and waters are full of them, that they may there become humble, and the air is full of them, so that they can there be purified. Eternal love is the form in everything. However, the wrath of the deity is only appeased on earth, but not abolished. But note this well, in the center of the sun there dwells the spark of grace, and gives light to the world through the fire of God's wrath. In the center of the earth, however, there dwells a spark of God's wrath like a fire dragon, and keeps the evil hordes in a solid state like stones, which must first be softened through the water of mercy, if they are to be released for a second trial to gain freedom and eternal life. And now understand the mystery of your being, and marvel at the great love of eternal might, and how often it has let you be born again in order to reclaim you, who were lost, for eternal life, for freedom, for the law, for love and light, and for beholding its face. And behold, all this I want to make known to you, and through you to many others too, so that you may finally understand how exceedingly good eternal love must be, when it untiringly did tolerate so much, and does such great and marvelous things for you disobedient beings. And so through the breath of the mercy of love, the earths were made to revolve around their guns, and rotate around their own centers for a sign to the children, that they may in all day do follow the example of the earth's movement around the suns and the moons around the earths. And the weak shall be like the moons, and the strong like the earth, and the reborn shall be like the sun. And the weak shall behold the strength of love, that never forsakes them, if they, like the moon, steadfastly turn towards the face of love, revolving around it in smaller circles, yet by its power are also drawn into the great circle. And the strong shall be like the earth, rotating independently, in order to hold themselves ready at all times to receive the light and warmth from the grace of love. Through its inner power, this gives them light, warmth, and life, that they may produce fruit of all kinds from the works of love, which give food to the weak, refresh the incarnate, and delight the reborn. And the reborn out of the waters of merciful love, within whom grace is perfect, shall be like the sun. Their light shall shine everywhere, and their warmth shall revive the weak, and stimulate the strong towards nourishing the weak, that there may be fellowship among the children of one and the same Father. And behold, you shall look still deeper, and see how and why I have arranged all things in this way. Lo, the moon has specks and many dark areas, and the earth has cold but firm poles, high mountains and low valleys, springs, brooks, rivers, streams, lakes, seas, and great oceans. And the sun has large and small spots. Behold, all these things are effect of love and grace, or respectively warmth and light, all of which is eternal love and the power of the deity through it. Therefore look at the weak and the moon, how alike they are, and the moon's nature is revealed to you. Look at the strong and all their works, and the earth is revealed before your eyes. And from one pole to the other, there must be the rigid stillness of the spirit within the love towards love, in order that everything which surrounds the spirit can move in a constant order, and thereby be active for the common purpose of everlasting preservation. For behold, everything depends on the stillness. Without it, nothing can be achieved, and he who is not like the poles of the earth does not penetrate his innermost, as does the line between the poles, the center of the earth. Your love must be cold like the ice of the poles, to enable you to absorb all the warmth of divine love. For behold, what is warm is not fit for the reception of warmth, but what is cold in its stillness is capable of absorbing the warmth completely, and letting it stream forth into all parts of life. For whoever absorbs the warmth, which is the love of God, keeps it firmly within, and does not allow it to flow on, is a miser who dissolves himself and is destroyed like ice at the fire. However, he who receives it like the poles, and passes it promptly on to all around him, be they near or far, with him divine love is in the right place, and fully corresponds to the will of the great and half-giver. This love will bring much fruit, will rise to the light of grace, and constantly behold the boundless depths of the deity. like the poles which look into the infinite spaces of the creations of the love of God, and will, with its eyes wide open, absorb the soft rays from the boundlessness of all the infinite spaces where mercy's countless beings are circling, everyone according to its kind, and will out of delight and bliss in its love towards love, and for love ignite and become self-shining as the sun, like the light of the earth's poles. Therefore, whoever remains constant in the center of the love of cognition, which is the grace, will have his loins aglow with love out of God, like the girdle of the earth, and his eyes will shine with understanding like the poles, and his arms will move like the rivers, brooks and springs, and his deeds will stream towards the seas of the divine mercies, which are salted with grace, and the understanding of eternal love and everlasting life. Well, here you have the key to open up and look through the earth that carries you.